Hey, join me, Mike Runge, tonight at 9:30 on the Fox Sports page.
Live from Fox Studios in Salt Lake, this is Fox News at 9.
First on Fox tonight, how many times have you told your kids not to talk to strangers?
Our investigation shows maybe not enough, and how to keep a tragedy from happening to you. Good evening, I'm Carrie Kronk.
And I'm Tom Hansen. Tonight, an extremely important story for parents. It could help save your child's life.
It's a story about those who prey on young kids and, unfortunately, how easy it is to do. Fox 13's Matt Hansen has been working on a hidden camera investigation and joins us now from Salt Lake. Matt?
Carrie, this could be any park in the United States, and unfortunately, it's a place like this that's supposed to bring joy to a child's life that could bring nothing but terror. Every parent tells their kids not to talk to strangers, but our hidden cameras show how parents make fatal mistakes. It's our stakeout on strangers.
The innocence of childhood can be shattered in seconds if kids don't follow the age-old advice not to talk to strangers.
How's it going?
Good.
Those your skates?
Yeah.
Those are nice skates.
The man you see is about 30 seconds away from getting the 6-year-old boy to climb right into his car. Fortunately, this man is an undercover Sandy City cop who wanted to help us show parents how easy it is for their kids to be lured away by strangers.
Oh, come here. They're right over here. This is my white car. Let me show them to you. They're brand new skates.
Can you skate with them?
I can skate pretty good. Here, you want to climb in? Go ahead. They're over there on the floor. Go ahead and climb in.
We had Mom's permission. She wanted to see what could happen because she's told the kids never to go with strangers.
When he got in the car, even though I knew, I just was terrified at how easy it was.
Spencer's mom has told him many times not to go with strangers. They've even been through role plays. Today, he's with his babysitter, Elizabeth, who watches as Sergeant Dave Lundberg tempts Spencer with candy.
We'll see what happens.
How about some candy? I got some really good candy I had left over from Halloween. Want some candy? Yeah. Okay, let's go to my car. I'll get you some candy. You want to go over there? It's just right over here.
That is not good.
It's okay. It's okay. It's right in the back here.
It's pretty heartbreaking. Because he could be taken away just like that.
There's a sack right back there on the floor. You want to grab it? Yeah. Just grab that sack that's right in there on the floor. You want to run in there? See you over there?
And he's got him. Spencer.
Well, I just want to teach you something. I just want to teach you that you never, ever, ever go with strangers, okay? Because strangers are bad people sometimes.
Every year, more than 500,000 kids are reported missing in the United States because it's just too easy for kidnappers to get away with.
I think any parent out there can imagine the pain of watching their son or daughter drive off with a stranger in a car. I don't think there can be anything worse than that.
I think it's terrifying. Totally terrifying.
It is terrifying, and we're not trying to scare people, but it can happen to any kid at any time. It happened to me when I was 8 years old, and a man tried to lure me into his car with candy. Fortunately, I knew enough to run away, but unfortunately, a lot of kids don't, Carrie.
Well, Matt, in this case, the parents had talked to their kids about strangers, and they still got in the car. What are parents supposed to do?
Tell them again and again and again. It can't be stressed enough. Tomorrow night, we're going to have some important tips for kids and parents and some resources parents can go to for more help. Carrie.
Okay, thanks, Matt. We look forward to it.
Salt Lake City police have a mystery on their hands tonight. The body of 42-year-old James O. Walton was found along the north side of I-80 at around 7200 West. Detectives say he'd been shot at least once in the upper body. At this point, they are trying to determine if Walton was shot at the scene or if his body had been dumped there.
It can happen. It is a pretty remote, isolated area of the city. Certainly, if you were wishing to do something criminal, you know, that might be the place, since the number of people that might observe you would be pretty limited, if next to non-existent.
Police say Walton's wallet was found on his body. However, his white Chevy Astro van is missing. Police believe it was probably stolen by the killer.
A very strange story in Utah County tonight. At first, police thought they might have some sort of a deadly gas cloud on their hands. This is what they found. Nearly 100 dead birds. When the first deputy arrived on the scene, he suddenly fell ill. At first, everyone thought the two were connected and something dangerous was in the air. The story gets even stranger. Turns out the birds had swooped down, hitting a semi head-on. That's why they died. And the deputy?
After that, a deputy came by a short while after that, saw all these dead birds. He had been up on an incident himself where it was involved in a possible suicide and with some carbon monoxide, and he fell a little bit ill himself, and so I guess between that and these birds on the ground, they kind of assumed there might be a gas leak of some sort here, but evidently that's not what it was.
The driver of the truck was startled but not hurt, and the deputy will be okay too.
Rescuers in Morgan County say there's nothing more they can do. They've given up their search for a man missing since Saturday. 51-year-old Thomas Cimino left his home in Mountain Green yesterday wearing only a light jacket and hasn't been seen since. Police have used planes and dogs in the search but haven't found anything. Cops say they haven't seen any evidence of foul play but have no explanation for his disappearance.
Ogden City is having problems deciding where to put a new jail. A Citizens Advisory Committee has given a thumbs down to a proposal to build a new corrections facility on Defense Depot property in Ogden. The group's vote is only a recommendation. City council members are still being urged to support the new jail site. A public hearing on the matter is set for December 4th. A Salt Lake man faces jail time for voting twice in the June election. William Barnes has been charged with a felony count for double voting in the Republican primary election. Barnes says it's nothing more than a voting registration glitch. He says he voted at 2 precincts because he was told to by the Salt Lake County Clerk's office after voting at the wrong precinct.
Explained that I'd gone up there with my voter's information card, and they said, no, you're supposed to vote down at another precinct and go down there, that's where you are. And I said, well, you know, they hand wrote me on up there. They said, oh, well, we'll take care of that, or something words to that effect. Frankly, I'm a little surprised and embarrassed and concerned.
Double voting carries a mandatory 1-year prison term. Barnes has retained an attorney.
The University of Utah has more than just yesterday's football loss on its mind tonight. It also has to find a new boss. The Board of Regents says it will move quickly to replace outgoing university president Arthur Smith. Smith is headed to Texas to take the top job at the University of Houston. The Regents say it may take as long as 9 months to find a replacement.
Well, you know, it started out sunny this morning and then it got kind of gloomy.
It did.
And Dan tells me that's probably how Thanksgiving is shaping up. Yeah, he's here now with our first look at weather. Dan?
Well, we'll talk about Thanksgiving later. We don't want to depress you or anything. It's not going to be that bad. But yeah, we had some sprinkles fall along the Wasatch Front throughout the state of Utah today. A few minor disturbances passed along, but no really measurable stuff that we could find anywhere. Just a few snowflakes in the mountains, raindrops in the valleys. We're still at 45 in Salt Lake, Delta at 42. St. George reports in with 50, and Rock Springs kind of cold up in the North Country at about 32 degrees. Well, we will check your top of the week weather, the Thanksgiving forecast, and the Fox 5-day. It's all coming up first here on Fox Weather Watch.
All right, thanks, Dan. Some hearing-impaired children are celebrating Thanksgiving a little early.
It's all part of the Deaf Connection. Families got together at the community center in Taylorsville, and they're encouraging other parents of deaf children to get involved with their support group. The group meets once a month, and this time, in celebration of Thanksgiving, it was giant turkeys, face painting, and macaroni necklaces.
This is Fox News at 9. With Tom Hansen, Carrie Cronk, Dan Jessup, and Kirby Moss. First on Fox.
Lots more still ahead, including a Fox 13 review of the new Arnold film, Jingle All the Way.
But next, take a ride on the information superhighway as we jump on the Fox Infobahn.
Sydney's found the man of her dreams. He's charming, handsome, but unfortunately, he's...
Monday at 7 on Fox 13.
Hang on for non-stop excitement. Good luck! Non-stop adventure. And non-stop terror.
You're not gonna die.
Sylvester Stallone, John Lithgow, Janine Turner. Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger, Tuesday night at 7 on Fox 13.
I hate dings in the door. I have this one terrible one. Some fool comes along out of the grocery store and just bangs right in the side. And then, of course, he's looking around. Nobody else can see him but me. He's banged, and I have this huge dent. But my owner can't always get to him, you know, right away to get him fixed. But I think she tries to make up for it. She gives me Chevron Supreme with Tecron because I'm a car designed for high-octane gas.
No premium outperforms Chevron Supreme with Tecron. Chevron, simply smarter.
They really lowered the prices.
I couldn't believe the bill was so low this time. Everywhere you look on the menu, they had new low prices.
Red Lobster's new low prices, like our $7.99 shrimp combo, freshly prepared sizzling scampi, plus beer-battered shrimp so light and crunchy, with salad and Cheddar Bay biscuits, just $7.99.
Can't beat the food, can't beat the price.
It's all part of 15 dinners under $10 at Red Lobster now.
When you go home, you say, I'm satisfied. Wow.
Passport.
Yes.
When it comes to the computer industry, fortunes can be made or lost overnight.
Two companies that defined the term online in the early 80s and early 90s are in real trouble tonight. Here's Scott McGrew and the Fox Infobon.
Hi, everyone. I'm Scott McGrew. Welcome to the Fox Infobon. You know, this week, CompuServe announced it lost $58 million, and stocks just tumbled. They also announced they dropped their family-oriented service called WOW.
America Online, the nation's largest online service, announced this month it would change the way it priced its services, doing away with the unpopular pay-per-hour option.
So why all this trouble all of a sudden? Well, one word: the internet. It's bigger, it's cheaper, and it's much faster.
And of course, there's the question of censorship. You'll find lots on CompuServe or America Online. Remember AOL threatened to kick off people for using the word breast? The breast cancer survivors of America were pretty upset. And one online service started to require people to use English because their censors didn't understand other languages. Hardly a worldwide information superhighway. Peter Ashdown heads Utah's largest internet provider.
Generally speaking, does not exert the kind of control over content that America Online or CompuServe does.
Don't expect AOL or CompuServe to die off just yet, but they're going to have to figure out how to compete with the internet, the free-thinking, low-cost, high-speed information superhighway. If you have questions or comments for the Fox Infobon, you can email us at news@fox13.com. And on the World Wide Web, we're at www.fox13.com.
For those of you who don't really have a grasp of what an online service is compared to the internet, Scott gave us this analogy. An online service which connects you to only one computer is like cable TV. Lots of interesting things to watch, but limited in the number of channels. The internet, which connects you to millions of computers, is like owning a satellite dish. You can tune into anything you want.
A strange shooting in Washington and a tragedy in New York City. Those stories and more as we check out our world in a minute. It sounds like something out of an ER episode. A man in Washington is shot. He staggers to the hospital. They're putting him on a gurney, and someone else comes up and shoots him again, dead. They did not catch the gunman. A New York City woman threw her 7-year-old twins off the roof of a housing project this morning, then jumped herself. She and one of the twins died.